Okay, so Trump's back in the headlines, but this time it's not for, the usual reasons. This
Mm.
time it's his own supporters kind of giving him a hard time.
Yeah.
And it all goes back to, believe it or not, a seemingly harmless little post on Truth Social about a get-together he had at Mar-a-Lago.
Mm.
So we're going to unpack this whole thing, see what we can learn about, well, Trump, his base, and maybe even the future of the Republican Party, right?
Absolutely. It's a fascinating glimpse into the evolving political landscape.
Exactly. And it all starts with this Truth Social post, right? So Trump, he's talking about hosting the Emir of Qatar along with the prime minister.
Mhm.
And, he's using all the usual language, calling them great friends, talking about the strong ties between their nations, standard politician stuff.
Sure, typical diplomatic language.
Exactly, BUT. And this is where things take a turn.
Okay.
The comment section is a total dumpster fire.
Oh,
I mean, we're talking furious responses, accusations of hypocrisy, even people questioning his loyalty, and this is all from his own supporters.
wow. So this isn't just like disagreement. This is open revolt from his own
Oh,
base.
absolutely. They are not holding back. And, it really makes you wonder what's going on beneath the surface, right? What could possibly be driving this level of anger?
Well, I think to really grasp the intensity of the reaction, we have to understand just how complicated Qatar's international relations really are.
Okay, yeah, I can see how that would play into it.
They've, for a long time, kind of walked this diplomatic tightrope,
Right.
maintaining ties with, for example, Hamas, which,
Hmm?
as you know, the U.S. designates as a terrorist organization.
Okay.
And so this makes their relationship with the U.S., and especially with pro-Israel groups, incredibly uh, delicate, you could say.
So essentially, you've got this clash of ideologies, right? You've got
Yep.
Trump's base, a lot of whom are very strongly pro-Israel.
Exactly.
And then you have Trump seemingly being chummy with a nation that has these ties with Hamas.
Precisely. And I think what's really important here is this isn't just a handful of fringe commenters.
Right.
We're seeing this broad spectrum of reactions from self-identified Trump supporters,
Mm-hmm.
which, begs the question, how united is this base, really?
That's a great question, especially since Trump really built his brand on this image of, being bold, uncompromising.
Absolutely. No beating around the bush.
Right. So for some of his base, this perceived inconsistency, it's got to be jarring.
Oh, absolutely. It's like cognitive dissonance,
Exactly.
The guy they thought they knew is acting in a way that seems to contradict everything he said he stood for.
And it's just so fascinating how this one meeting has exposed this rift.
It's a crack in the foundation, you could say.
It makes you wonder, is this a sign of things to come, as we head towards 2024?
It's still early, but, I think this incident, it really highlights this growing tension within the Republican Party between, on one hand, the more traditional pro-Israel wing and then, those who maybe prioritize Trump's America First agenda above all else.
So how does Trump navigate this, right? As we get closer to the election, it's only going to get more complicated.
Absolutely. And I think it'll be really interesting to see how he manages these, frankly, contradictory relationships moving forward.
It's wild, isn't it? It's like social media gives us this magnifying glass on political loyalty.
Right.
One minute you're riding high, you've got this unwavering support, and the next, everyone's questioning your every move.
It's brutal.
It really makes you think, how predictable is any of this,
Yeah.
How quickly can these allegiances really shift? Something to ponder, for sure.
A lot to unpack there, yeah.
Absolutely.
A lot to unpack.
Indeed.